everyone, and welcome to my 26/27 League 1 predictions. I did League 2, and now it's time for League 1. And as I said last time, I'm going to go straight into it, not wasting any time. And straight into 24th, we've got Cambridge. They're coming straight back up. And I'm not too sure what to think of them. I think they might struggle. I don't really see them doing much this season in League 1, so I think they'll be straight back down. Bit like Port Vale was last season. 23rd, I've got AFC Wimbledon. I didn't want to put them down. I do want to see Wimbledon do well. But there is always a team that has like second season syndrome in League 1. And I kind of feel like Wimbledon could be that team. They finished not far above relegation last season. And they could be one of the teams that get pushed into it this season. 22nd. This is probably one of my surprise picks. But I've gone for Doncaster. They played well last season. They started well. They struggled mid-season. That was near around relegation midway through the season. Before they started rise up again. I think it could be similar. I think it could be a good start this season. But I think they could have a fall off second half. And I don't want to put them to get relegated, but I couldn't see anyone else getting relegated either. So they're just a team that got pushed inside. Sorry, Doncaster. 21st, I've gone for Wigan. This is another interesting one. Ever since they got relegated, a few seasons ago now, they have struggled. Because they didn't manage. They struggled that one season they came down, but they went up the season after. But they came down again. And now they've kind of been stuck in the bottom half ever since. And as I said, that could be another one of those teams that get pushed into relegation this year. Because everyone else is good. League 1 looks good this year. 20th, I've gone for Burton. This is the Burton spot. I put them this spot last year. And I'm going to put them there again. Because that's where Burton always finishes. 19th, I've gone for Bromley. They're an interesting one. They could either do a Stockport and do really well, or that if League 1 proves to be too much and they go down. I think they will struggle. League 1 is a big step up for a team like Bromley with little history. So I think they'll survive, but they'll survive just. 18th, I've gone for Notts County. And another team that has come up, I think they could do well, but they could also struggle. So they'll probably be somewhere around the bottom half. Simple as that. 17th, I've gone for Peterborough. Same as last season and the season before that. They're kind of there now. I don't see them improving and I don't see them getting worse. That could be one of those teams that get pushed into a relegation battle. But Peterborough always fine. 16th, I've gone for Stevenage. This is a surprising one because they did really well last season. You always gonna have that team that just completely falls off. Last season it was Leyton Orient, and then this season it'll be Stevenage. So I think Stevenage, they could struggle this season. Don't think they'll be relegated. But they won't be anywhere near as good as last season. 15th, I've gone for Barnsley. Barnsley are currently kind of just there at the moment. They're not really doing anything big and they're not really doing anything small. They are literally just there. And I see them to continue to be there. So, 15th. 14th, I've gone for Leyton Orient. I think they can improve. They went from playoffs to relegation battle last season. A lot of people are probably going to have them to go down this season. But, nah, I don't see that. I think they will do better. I think they will rise up the table. 13th, I've gone for Reading. Reading are an interesting one. They've kind of been stuck in mid-table for the last few seasons. Like, there was part of the season where they looked like they could push for the playoffs. But they always end up falling off. So, I'll play it safe and put them somewhere in the middle. So I think 13th will work for them. 12th, I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday. When I made my original predictions back in like June, I had Sheffield Wednesday to get relegated. I had no idea what was going to go on with them. They could either do really bad and go down, or they could just prove everyone wrong and do well. I don't think they'll be anywhere near promotion. So I think they've got their finances sorted out now. So I think they have brought in a few players as well. So I don't think they'll be bad enough to get back-to-back relegation anymore. But I think they could still struggle at times. It could be a bad start. Maybe a good January window. And they manage to get themselves up to mid-table. So I'll play it safe and I'll put them dead in the middle. 11th, I'll put Blackpool. Blackpool are another team that are kind of just there. They had a terrible start last season. First of the season, it looked like they was going to go relegated. But they did improve in the end. And I think they'll return more to mid-table. Like they were like 3 years ago. So yeah, mid-table for Blackpool. Don't see them doing anything interesting. 10th, this is my another kind of surprise prick. I've gone for MK Dons. I know everyone hates them, but I think MK Dons are a League 1 quality club. I say that, but I finished like 19th in League 2 like 2 seasons ago. But I think they've got the quality. They got themselves sorted out last season. They got second. I think they'll come up and they'll return to where they were a few seasons ago. Either mid-table or pushing for the playoffs. I think they'll be fine. 9th, I've gone for Oxford United. Coming down from the Championship. They could do well. I don't think they'll be playoff ready. I don't think they're a Championship quality club. That was good enough to survive they survived one season in the Championship before getting relegated. So I think it'll be a return to normality now for Oxford. Back to around mid-table in League 1. Maybe a playoff push every so often. I don't see them going up. 8th, I've gone for Bradford City. I see them dropping a bit. Bit like Stevenage, but not as bad as Stevenage. Obviously, they came up to League 1 last season. So it could be a tiny bit of second season syndrome. And I think they'll still be good. But I don't think they'll be as good and they'll just miss out. 7th, I've gone for Mansfield. I like Mansfield for some reason. I've got a soft spot for them. They've been growing every season. So I think it should be another improvement for them. I really want to see them in the playoffs. I think it will be interesting. It will be amazing to see them in the Championship. They could do like a Lincoln. But I think they'll just miss out. I think they still lack the quality. Alright then, the playoffs. For 6th, I've gone for Plymouth Argyle. They just missed out last season, didn't they? So I think they'll push again this season. And I think they'll just squeeze into the playoffs. 5th, it's a teensy tiny drop, but I've gone for Stockport. They finished in the last 2 seasons. They have messed it up both times. I think I put them second last season. They obviously didn't. I think they finished 3rd in the end. So I think they've lost a few of their players. So a tiny bit of drop. I think they'll still be good, but they won't be like promotion contenders this season. So I think 5th is good for Stockport. 4th, this is one of my more random picks, but for 4th, I've gone for Wycombe. Wycombe are always in and out of the playoffs. Like, if you look at them the last few years, they went from playoffs to being promoted to the Championship. They came down, finished mid-table, then I finished playoffs again, and I finished mid-table again. So, why not put them in the playoffs again? So they're going from mid-table, playoffs, mid-table, playoffs, mid-table, playoffs. I put them 4th just because I think some teams could struggle over them. So I think they could just push above some teams. It's a risky one, but I like it. 3rd, I've gone for Luton. I almost put them to go up, but looking how they were last season, I'm not confident. This is a team that should be in the Championship. That was obviously in the Premier League about 2-3 years ago. So you would expect to see them up in the Championship at least. But seeing it, if they spend 3 years in League One, I don't know what's gone on there. They do know the opposite of what they did. National League to Premier League instead of doing Premier League to National League. So I'm going to put them 3rd. They could improve. They've had a season to settle. So they really have to go for it this season, Luton. I think they will lose in the playoffs though. Who will win the playoffs? It could be Stockport, could be Wickham. Luton should, but I don't know. I can see Luton losing to Plymouth in that semi-final. This could be a Stockport promotion, but you don't know how to get promoted to the Championship. Anyway then, 2nd place. This is my biggest shout. Huddersfield Town in 2nd. Even saying that now, that sounds stupid. But why not? They've been top half of the table for the last 2 seasons since they got relegated. They've never been bad. They've just missed out on the playoffs like 2 years in a row. So it would take one good push, one good season, and they should get promoted. Like if they improve their team, if they can improve from the season before, they'll get promoted. Obviously they could stay the same as they were last season, and just finish 9th again. If they do improve this season, they could definitely see themselves getting top 2 and getting back into the Championship. And then finally, my obvious League One winner, the teams that everyone picked, Leicester City. They have to win this league. If they don't win this league, if they don't get promoted, something's gone really bad there at Leicester. It's just like Luton, but worse. This team was winning the Premier League 10 years ago. If this team's not getting promoted back to the Championship, then just delete the club, because this team should not be here. They've still got Premier League players in their team. I've got nothing else to say. They need to get promoted. And that's all I've got to say. That's my League One predictions for this season. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll try to get my Championship and Premier League predictions done. And then what am I going on? I'm just going to end it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.